Good afternoon, guys. How's it going? My name's Alex, and welcome to the Rodeo. This is our very first episode, and today I have a very special guest with me. I've known this guy for years, Riggy B. How's it going, Riggy?
It's going well, man. Very excited being here.
How you doing today?
Good. Ready to
Alrighty.
get this interview done.
Is this the first interview that you do?
Yeah, this is my first interview since the album release.
Okay. And how many tracks do you have in that album?
I believe around 10, 12. I didn't check. I just submitted all the tracks in the album. I believe there's 12, right? 12 tracks? Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And was that an album or a mixtape?
It was just an album. I just wanted to show like a different type of style. It got me out of my comfort zone because I always rapped and freestyled in Spanish, and just putting that English in there was it was just it was different. Like I wanted to show something different, you know.
Perfect. So I've heard that you started this kind of different vibe. It's called Border Flow. Is that
Yes.
correct? Can you explain to me a little bit about Border Flow?
So Border Flow, first I got influenced by Kid Gale. He's a trapper from Spain. I see that he was putting English on his tracks and everything. And me coming from El Paso and Juarez, Ciudad Juarez, I was like, oh, I like this. So when it was time to record, since the intro of the song, it's called Border Flow. Like I wanted to bring something new into the plate.
And that's actually perfect timing because the rise of Latin trap. Hip hop has been since the 80s. But the rise of Latin trap has really inspired lots of Spanish rappers. So you mixing those two things, it's a great concept overall.
Yeah, and people dig it because usually when like a track's like that, it requires two rappers, right? One in Spanish and one in English. So like I wanted to just be like throwing myself out there because Kike was going up, and I was just like, I like the flows, but I want to bring something new, like official, you know.
And you would say that's one of your major inspirations for sure.
Yes,
Kid Gal.
for sure. Like he brought like, and like I like his the way how he raps because it's not like he raps like he has a different flow, a different vibe when he does it in English. So I was like, I want to do something similar, but like more from like a Mexican's like way to do it, you know?
Got you. All right, so let's start from the beginning, man. How was it growing up? You said from Juarez?
Yeah, vengo de Ciudad Juarez. Pretty cool, you know. I missed the culture, man. I was into skateboarding. I did it for like 10 years. It was a pretty good childhood with my brothers, you know. We were all different, but I was always into the music scene.
Okay, so as a young age, music was a big influence for you.
Yeah, because I started listening to rock music.
Okay.
And I was a metalhead. I learned how to play the guitar, a little bit of piano, but I was always trying to get involved into the music scene, always supporting the local artists. And that started happening to El Paso. When I started moving to El Paso, I got a lot of influence of what the type of music I want to do. I want to do rock. So actually, when you hear Border Flow, like
Estrella Rock, yeah.
that's what I wanted to say because, like, my favorite band being Motley Crue, I just wanted to be like them, like, go fucking wild, you know? And that's what I wanted to do once I was, like, finding the way how trap was going, like, how the drop down is. Yeah. So I was like, maybe I can get involved into this. And then once I moved to Dallas, I forgot about a little bit of the music scene. I started writing poetry.
Okay.
I was reading a little bit of literature. So I met another rapper who was just doing freestyle named Format. And he was like, check out these freestyle battles and stuff. And I got involved in it. So I was like, oh, I want to be a lyricist. I want to do freestyle how they are doing. Like, I started seeing videos of Asesino, Jack MC4, and then that's how I started growing up as a musician. And I was like, I want to do something similar. But I wasn't looking to be an artist at the time. I just wanted to be like just a freestyler. And then when I was growing up more, I was like, no, I want to take a different path into it. I want to bring something new. Because when I heard Bad Bunny going up, I was like, this is my calling. Like,
this is what I want to do.
This is what I want to do. I want to go up.
Yeah.
And then I saw like Argentinians going at it, like how they just rise out of nowhere, like from freestyling in the street in a little small plaza, going to major leagues like Dookie, Easy Eye. Easy Eye is one of my favorite trappers. Shout out to him. They started from nothing, and I'm like, man, like this is possible, you know?
Yeah. Now that you mentioned the freestyling, I still do remember a video, watching a video regarding you, and was it one of your friends regarding an altercation that happened right there? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or can you talk about that, or is that something?
So, it was just you know, it was just two different types of styles that we had, and we just had disagreements. Yeah, we wanted to beef, but at the end we just let it go.
Yeah, lots of people in the comments were talking about how they felt that some of the judges were going, you know, for your friend, but at the end they kind of sided with the other guy, even though, you know, your friend was pretty much the better freestyler. And, you know, as that shows, you know, that you do take this serious. You take this serious. You know, you have a passion for it, for sure.
So like, yeah, like I didn't hold any grudges when I lost. I lost a couple of battles, you know, but I don't take any grudges through it, because, you know, that's what pushed me to become an artist. You know, there's no grudges at all. They just, it's at the moment, you know, like maybe like when you review it, you're like, oh, they should have voted for me, but at the same time,
Adrenaline just pumping, yeah.
Yeah, but it's just that. It's
Got you.
Nothing bad, you know.
Okay. And currently, are you signed right now with any labels out there?
No, I'm actually just growing with my independent. Yeah, as an independent artist. But I do a lot of features. I'm doing projects with MIK.
MIK, he's a local artist here in Dallas, isn't he?
Correct.
Okay.
So he's I've been working on a project with him, Candela. Also, we're working on another project. I'm actually doing also an independent another new album.
Wow, that's a lot of music you're working on, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, that's, you said an album with another local artist, and then somebody else, and now your own.
Yes.
You know, is this gonna be any features on it, or is it just straight you?
I haven't decided that yet. I do see a lot of potential with a lot of artists that I would like to put on my tracks. It's just I need to get my beat so I can see what kind of vibe can I bring to the play first before I get someone involved. Glowboy, I also did another track with Glowboy. He's another local artist. So everything is coming up good ever since I released Border Flow.
That's good, man. You know, happy for you. And, you know, I did listen to Border Flow, for sure. Estrella de Rock was a big one right there. I listened to it first on SoundCloud, but then you also released it on Apple Music, for sure, right?
Yes, everything was all platforms. When I was doing it on SoundCloud, I was using different equipment. So when I wanted to make sure everything was solid, it's Spotify, Apple Music, so you can see the quality.
That's good, man. You know, that's always good to grow, and, you know, just investing in yourself and taking the passion that you have for you know, for you it's rapping music. You know, it shows that you take this serious, for sure. So like I was talking about, let's get to know Riggy. So you said you have brothers, right?
Yeah, I have 3 brothers.
Are you the oldest, youngest? What are you?
No, I'm the middle one.
You're the middle child?
Yeah, I have 2 older brothers. One used to be a metalhead, but now he turned into a preppy type of guy. One's the older one. He's kind of normal, I guess. School teacher, pretty cool. He's into different types of music as well.
So what type of kid were you growing up? Were you always getting in trouble? Were you, you know,
Hell
going by
yeah, man! Like, you already know, every day I had to be in the principal's office.
Yeah.
Especially middle school, man.
Was this Juarez or was this El Paso?
El Paso.
El Paso. Okay.
Yeah, in middle school in El Paso, man, I did a lot of stupid shit there, you know. Okay.
How old were you whenever you came here to Dallas?
I was 19.
19. Okay.
Yeah, just fresh
and why
out of
Dallas?
school.
Why did you decide, you know, I want to go from El Paso to Dallas over here?
It was just like I needed a change, you know. Like when I was 18, I was working at a Dippin' Dot store, just serving ice cream, barely making minimum wage. But I still had to pay a lot of rent in El Paso, and it was like hard moments to live in El Paso because there was not enough employment there at the time. So my brother and I we just decided, hey,
Dallas.
let's just go to Dallas, and especially because our neighbor came up with the idea of Dallas because uh, we were doing carne asadas and she would always join us, and then she was like, "Man, y'all have a lot of potential to grow, but y'all need to get out of El Paso." And I was like, because I like El Paso. I like to grow up, like grow there. When I visit, I don't even want to leave El Paso.
That's home. That's home
Yeah,
for sure.
there's
But
no place like home.
for sure.
So when we decided that, it was for sure that we needed change. And if it wasn't for that change, I would never pursue music at all.
That's true because Dallas, even though there's now there's a lot more artists coming up, there hasn't been so much of a big music scene like it used to. But like you said, you mentioned a lot of artists that you've networked already with, and I do see here lots of artists are on the come up for sure here in Dallas. Of course, some people tell you, go to Los Angeles, go to New York, those or Atlanta. Those are bigger cities for music and stuff like that. But I feel like Dallas is up and coming for sure,
Yeah.
and you're riding that wave. You're riding that wave and leading that wave for sure.
Yeah, especially like when I go to the studio, I go to RZO Sounds. There's a lot of artists in the lobby, and you just network with them. Hey, let's get together sometime. Let's do a track. Especially when you know Spanish, man. They're like, hey, I want you on my track, and that's how I get work from it. I'm like, all right, I'm down to do a track, and sometimes like it was funny. So I remember when this happened the first time. I was with MIK, and he texted me, "Hey, come to the studio, come through. I want you to meet this artist, just so you can vibe with him." And because I'm getting close to MIK to be partners at one point to create our own studios.
Is he also independent like you?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's independent. But we met at our job at CMI.
Oh,
Yeah. So we used to play ping pong, and then when I was about to quit, he was like, "Hey man, you do music?" And I was like, "I just freestyle at the moment, but I didn't have anything, no material at all. I was just freestyle." He was like, "Hey man, we should do a track sometime." And I was like, "All right, cool." And he found me on Instagram, and he was like, "All right, now let's do a track."
Let's link up.
So Moon Rocks on the 31st is when we're releasing our first track together. So you guys can check it out. So going back to my story, so I meet up with him, and he was like, "Hey, check this guy out." And Dave Wonder, he's a wonderful singer, and he was like, "Hey, so I heard you know Spanish," and I'm like, "Yeah, I do it in Spanish." And he was like, "Well, hop on." I didn't have nothing ready, like I was, so I just hop in the mic, and I was just, all right, I'm just gonna freestyle it because I have nothing, and if I just read it from what I just wrote, it's not gonna sound fluent. So I was like, "Fuck it, let's do it." And when I did it, a lot of artists like started asking me, "Hey man, do you want to be on my track?" And I was down for it, So
Got you.
that's a cool thing about being like a Spanish artist.
You have both.
Both entries, and
Exa-
especially also in the trap scene and like in Spanish trap scene that's going on right now. I'm part of the scene. I come and go because it's mostly freestyle tournaments, but there's also artists who just don't participate. They're just there to support the scene. And with Border Flow, they're asking me to do it in English, so it gives me both entries to growth and expand. And especially when I'm with different rappers, like you grow, like you learn something new out of them, new flows, new techniques. So it's growth throughout the time, and Dallas is going big on music.
For sure, man. So, like I said before, growing up, you said music was a big influence for you. When did you actually start taking music seriously? Like, some people start making music, it's just for fun, in their room, and they make little tracks here and there. But when did you decide, music is something I really want to pursue? I'm very passionate about it, and I want to take this serious for sure.
It happened when I was actually 3 years ago. Yeah, I didn't take initiative at first because I just had self-doubts, and that's the worst poison of all industries, self-doubt. But I would meet with Candela every night, and
And for the people that don't know, this is also an artist or producer?
he's an artist.
Artist. Got you.
He's a talented artist. I would just do old school boom bap at the time. I was
New
just
York type.
just old school rap, you know. And when I was going to trap, it was kind of difficult at first, but I was hours on his mic, just going at it until I got the vibe out of trap, and you know, I was like, okay, this is something I can do. And then seeing like other artists as Kila going up to at the same time, I was like, okay, I need to step up my game more.
Yeah.
And last year is where I started borrowing my gear and started taking it more seriously. Like, it's not something I want. I'm gonna take initiative now. So Border Flow, it took me 3 months to complete.
3 months.
3 months.
So
Like,
from the 3 year span that you started, those tracks that you said you know you were working on this and that, were those any that you incorporated in Border Flow, or was Border Flow just straight up, you know, new? This is something, you know, just in the moment. I'm zoned in. I'm focused, and you know, let's knock it out.
yeah, it was. They're all new tracks. Like,
They're all new tracks.
They're all new tracks. I was just like on a tunnel vision, like, hey, I don't want nobody to bother me. I need to finish this. And it was just me staying up till 3 a.m. And then like at work, on breaks, on lunches, I'm just writing and writing and writing, practicing, and then leaving work and then getting on the mic and just doing it.
Hustling.
Yeah, and it was 3 months. Like, I was impressed, like, because a lot of artists, you know, how they take longer.
Yeah.
And also, while I was recording those tracks, I was learning how to mix and master. So that was out of my comfort zone, because Candela also knows how to mix and master tracks as well. Shout out to him for teaching me. But he just, I just had to learn how to do it myself, everything to myself. And I feel like this, like, Border Flow was just the roots of what's coming up. So I got new tracks coming up, singles.
Okay. On the 31st, you said you're doing a
Moon
Rocks with
MIK.
MIK. 31st, that's where. Is this gonna be on all platforms? Is gonna be
Correct. It's gonna be all platforms. Every track that I release is gonna be all platforms, so everyone can have access to it. Also, music videos are coming in the future as well.
I was just about to ask that. Have you released any music videos for Border Flow? Any tracks? Anything like that?
No, I think I'm not releasing any music videos for Border Flow. Okay. The reason why is because I just wanted to plant the seed.
Start the movement.
Yeah, start the movement with Border Flow. The new tracks that I'm doing right now, they're gonna be better, louder, and I feel like once I release it, it's gonna be a big change on me as an artist. Cause like in Border Flow, it had different types of beats, and also in my singles that I just released, it had different types of beats. So you can tell the story from the artist, like, what is he going through? You know, does he want something like rock, or does he want something calm? Does he want something like trap? So when I finished Border Flow, I was like, okay, this is the artist trying to find himself, you know.
Okay.
And while I'm releasing these singles, you can see that slowly I'm trying to find my flow, my voice. And when I released Oi, that was when I realized, okay, I'm gonna do something like, I want hard trap, but like a Mexican style hard trap, you know. So the new tracks that I'm releasing, they're gonna be a different sound from what was Border Flow, but it's gonna be different beats. And Zay, he's a beat producer in Italy, so he's producing all of my beats from that album that I'm doing. So shout out to Zay for doing this and give me the opportunity on using his beats.
Dang, all of your beats, dang, that's, you know, you must have a lot of trust in him, you know, knowing that he's gonna give you some of the best beats that he has to produce that project for sure.
Yeah, so because when
you guys worked before together?
No, so it was funny how I found him. So I was looking online like at 3 a.m. because I couldn't go to sleep at all.
Yeah.
And I was just focused like, okay, 2020, I'm not sticking with Border Flow. This is Border Flow Volume 2 or the new name, But right now I'm sticking with volume 2 because
Volume two.
it's gonna be a different type of scenario. But I found one of the beats, and it was like European trap type of deal, and I was like, damn, these beats go hard. These Europeans got something cooking.
Yeah.
So I looked into his information and get him on Instagram. I sent a message, hey, I'm interested on your beats. How much for 10? And he gave me his price, and I was like, all right, that sounds reasonable. I told him, since you're gonna be my partner, I take care of my people, so I'm using only your beats on these albums. Cause from what I heard on his, for the ones that he had uploaded, they were great. I fell in love with them. I was like, this is the sound that Riggy B is gonna.
This goes perfect
with what
match.
Yes, what I'm going to. So, and you'll see that
Yeah.
with Hoy and the coming up, Nunca Voy a Arrodillarme, you're gonna hear Riggy B's official voice coming out.
Wow. And so you said your sound, you were influenced a lot by rock and then also freestyling. What would you say is the type of music that you really make now? Because, there's artists that have influences like that. Lil Wayne, he's a big Nirvana fan. Post Malone, he's a big rock fan for sure. He puts sometimes rock stars in his music. Is that a route that you would like to take, or what's your actual route that you want to pursue and take regarding the influences that you have?
So my influences, my personality has been like hardcore.
Hardcore, straight up.
Straight up, like even if it's music, like rock, punk, whatever, it has to be hardcore because like that fits with my personality.
Yeah.
So when I go into trap, I just want to make sure this sounds hardcore. Like I don't want that, like, because I feel like the trap scene right now is going to a reggaeton bass again. It's moving slowly to a reggaeton type of thing, and I just want to bring hard trap into the game. Yes, there's gonna be moments where I want to do something different with rock music as well, because it has a lot of similarities. What's trap and rock when it's all about instruments and instrumentals. So maybe in the future
You
I'll
might
say-
drop something
Yeah.
rock. Okay, dang, that's crazy, man. That you're a very very versatile man. Spanish, English songs, freestyling, and now rap and rock. That's something not a lot of artists could do for sure.
Yeah, it's part of growth. Like the more you do, the more knowledgeable you are, and the more what's the word I'm looking for? The more valuable you are.
For sure, yeah.
So right now, since I want to show everybody like from border flow, like how I'm finding my voice, and then after that, finding my voice, I want to experiment with different stuff. That way, it could be like a storytelling, because a lot of artists like they just forget about their first tracks, leave it on the past. But no, I want to tell the story since the beginning. Hey, border flow, artist looking for his voice. He found his voice. Now he's experimenting with different types of genres. But I feel like this is gonna be the beginning of something big, especially when I'm featuring with these artists coming up. I also I got an invitation from Daisy as well to go to Italy probably.
All
next
the way
year.
to it. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, and also him coming to the States to link up. But we're looking that like
Yeah,
next
that's.
year or
Did you already get the beats that you're gonna use for the project,
so.
or he's just still?
He just started the process because we just negotiated this like 4 days ago.
Also, this was like it barely.
It barely
Okay,
happened, so
got you.
It barely happened, but we've been
Breaking news. No, I'm kidding.
we've been communicating every day. I got one of his beats, which I love, and it's probably gonna be a single as well, because I want people to get the hype of what's gonna come out on this second album.
Okay, for sure, for sure. So, have you gone on any tours yet, or is that something you still? First, are you working on the music, and then you're gonna go on tours, or do you have anything lined up?
Yes. So I've been talking to uh, DJ Blackie. He's a DJ at Booth 360.
Yeah.
Yes, we talked about shows. They're probably coming on the summer
For sure. Yeah.
because it gives me time to produce the new music, the new voice, and I can make sure like it's a great vibe type of deal because I want this album to be perfect.
Yeah, gotta
No
be
mistakes.
focused on this album for sure. But yeah, like you said, summer usually is whenever lots of artists go on tours and stuff like that. So potentially there might be a Riggy B tour.
Yes, probably by the end of this year, that's my goal. Going on the first small tour, probably go to San Antonio, Houston, Austin.
You're here in Texas for sure.
Yeah, because Texas is where Riggy B is starting. So I have a few contacts in El Paso as well too that can probably perform over there, but we're looking down the road probably by the end of the year.
What are some of the places that you would love to perform at, or what are some of the biggest, maybe cities that you would love to have a tour at or perform there?
Atlanta, Los Angeles, New York. Those are the three main ones. I want to go to Madison Square Garden one day. That's a goal, but sold out tickets. And now that we're talking about that, that's what I'm like. I want to document everything.
The process
The
of
process, because like most rappers just like go like they don't show the process.
Yeah.
Like after they make it, now you can see like they're like, oh my god, their past, how they. But I want the storytelling type of deal.
yeah,
like,
from the day one until the present for sure.
Correct.
That's so true. Lots of artists, some people think that, out of nowhere they just came out with the music single and now they're blown up. But it is a long grind. It is a long process that you have to go through in order to get the success that you need for sure. And that's a great idea, especially now with social media. This is something that you could easily document and show the process to other young artists and inspire those that want to come up too.
Yeah, and like it's a nice movement because especially when I'm at work, like after hours, I just turn on the beats and I'm just writing. And other artists like Glowboy, he sees me writing and he got inspired by it. So we did a track together. It's his track,
What is the name of that track?
Standing Tall.
And they could find this any platform or
No, it's still in working process.
Still working.
It's waiting to be released at this moment. But it's a good coming up track with him. Candela, we're working on an EP together. MIK, few futures going there. So it's been a lot of work.
It sounds like 3 projects, 2 with other artists and 1 of yours. So are you gonna do which project are you gonna release first?
It just all depends.
It just depends on
Right now I'm trying to work on myself first
yours for sure.
because the most important part is myself.
Of course.
Because whatever I'm gonna provide with those artists, I gotta make sure I provide for myself as well. So in order for me to help them, I gotta help myself first. So when I'm halfway with the album, I can focus on those EPs. I have scheduled out a few sessions with them, so we'll see what happens from there. Most likely, I'll start releasing independent stuff, but also new track coming in the future with MIK, Loyalty. Loyalty. It's the second track that we're releasing probably by the end of February.
And where do you get all this inspiration from? Because that's a lot of music that you're working on. Where do you would say I'm really inspired from certain things? Where does this all come from?
Actually, like it's when I hear the beat is where I get my inspiration from.
So the beat. So your process is first hear the beat and then write the song. Because there's some people that they just write the song and they're like this beat will go great with this. So yours is hear the beat first.
Yeah, hear the beat.
You feel it out first
And I do a lot of freestyle sessions before I even start writing. Again, border flow, the concept. I want to go back to where I grew up and just, how I grew up, how I developed myself. So you're gonna hear a few tracks of going back to hometown Juarez.
Wow, yeah. Have you gotten a lot of support from your hometown, or would you say, what cities do you think they really are going with the Riggy B movement?
Juarez has supported me very well. Dallas is definitely like the main city that has supported. Just because the exposure, I want to make a Texas type of thing because here's where Riggy B was born, you know?
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
me, myself, Juarez, I love it, but Riggy B, where he found his inspiration to do rap and trap and find his flow, his voice was Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas, for sure. Okay, man. In one of the tracks, you actually say, "I was in my truck."
With my dog Dexter, hoping shit would get better.
Yeah. So talk to me about that. Why did you add that? That sounds. Maybe this could be a process, like you said, of documenting things like this. What were you going through at those times?
Throughout that time, I'm 22 years old. I just got out of my first apartment, moving to a second apartment. I was going through the process. They had me a whole for a long time, and my mom was staying with my brother, my older brother. So at one time I had to sleep in the truck with Dexter, but that moment is where I was like, I gotta do something about it. Like sleeping in the truck in the cold, where my dog was like, hell no, like
Can let this can do this again. Can do this again for sure.
it can be repeated itself. When I woke up a few hours later, it was just a reflection because you're never gonna have that loyal companion as a dog. You know, like your dog is gonna be the loyalest thing, and that was like Dexter's gonna be part of the process as well. So when I released the first track,
You had it. You had
I was
to
like,
put that for
I'm
sure.
gonna put Dexter there, you know, because he was throughout the struggle. So hopefully he can see what's coming up in the future.
Yeah.
You know, since he's an old dog, but still, yeah, life wasn't ever easy. It was a reflection of a track. I wanted to,
That was one of the first tracks you ever made.
yeah, for sure. It was the first track that Riggy B released. It was inspired actually by J. Cole.
J. Cole.
Eyes on Me.
Okay.
But I wanted to do by myself. You know, like start talking about what happened with me when I was coming up. I had a decent lifestyle as a childhood, but then the struggle came when I was going to adulthood, and you realize also how people change throughout the time. Once you have it, they're there, but if you don't have it, they're not there, and you know you start growing, like learning all these experiences. So when I wrote Life Wasn't Easy, I was like, okay, Riggy B is gonna write about himself, his visual of the world. That's why I call out a lot of behaviors out, you know, like so yeah, pretty much.
That's something that lots of people could actually relate to. So like you said, once you're on top and you have it, they're there.
Yeah.
But where they be the process, or whenever everything is taken away, that's whenever you see who's real for you, who's there, who's not. So that's something people could really relate to for sure.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, like, the realest thing that was there for me was Dexter.
Your
So
dog.
I was like, shit, fuck it, it is what it is. So that made me grow as an artist as well, because Estrella Rock is pretty much saying fuck you to the world. Like, after that was my second track that I released, but it was already on the process of being in Border Flow as well. So it was just like, all right, like, this is puro desmadre. This is just fuck it, like. And then, like, especially like when I mentioned the band Motley Crue, Motley Crue is my favorite band of all times. They just fucking say fuck you to the audience, fuck you to the world, and that's what I wanted to do, like, in that track. Like, all right, this is metal type of shit. Let me just mention them because this is like the behavior that
That's
I wanna
your
express.
personality for sure. That's fuck it, it's straight up.
Yeah.
Another question, just to switch it up a little bit. Do you plan to remain independent, or would you be open to the idea of signing to a label?
That's a good question. I'll be open to sign for a label, but right now, while I'm finding myself, right now I want to be independent just because I need to still pursue what Riggy B is about.
That's true, especially nowadays, with technology, with the social media, and lots of artists, they're showing that the independent route is something that they could take, and they kind of don't even need that label. But for sure nowadays, technology has changed that up for sure.
Yeah, and it was part of it was also like going back to the hip hop culture. Labels used to take over their artists.
That's
So
true.
it was just how you
360s.
behave. Yeah, it was about how you behave, how you gonna perform, how your image is, and all that. And like social media took that away from them, and I feel like now the artist can be the artist who wants to be itself. Like if they want to change their sound, they do it with their own consultation without nobody controlling them. And that's what I appreciate about this generation right now, that social media has taken a whole change to the game, because you as an artist, you can make something out of yourself just by exposing, promoting, growing, meeting other artists, networking. Let's get together, let's do a track, and that person can lead to another person, and out of nowhere you have a
A whole army.
yeah, and
For sure.
especially Dallas. I feel the artists right now, since they're growing, there's not a rap scene that you can say, "Oh my God, Dallas."
That's a Dallas sound,
Yeah,
they
that's
can't.
a Dallas sound, and I feel like right now that's growing, and now that, especially when there's a lot of Latinos here in Dallas, me coming into the game, like saying, "Hey, I can do this in English, Spanish. It is what it is," and it could become something stronger, its own sound of it.
What are some of the artists that you would like to work with? Big artists. Like say, this is this person. I would love to make a track with them.
Kid Keo, definitely easier. I like how he gets his concept on his tracks. Dookie, Aleman for sure. La Banda Baston, because they're old school artists, but still they're great.
They're hard.
They go hard. Big artist. Who else? Echo.
Echo.
He goes
Okay.
really hard. It's mostly a lot of Argentinian trappers that I like most of the time. Santa Fe Clan. He's from
Okay.
Mexico. He's a great artist as well. Drefkila in the future as well, as a big artist, coming up artist. But yeah,
It's a big list that you have on there. You want to
Yeah.
make music with.
yeah, it's the scene, like we're coming up, and if you can make it, you can make it, and especially with those artists, they have different types of sound, and that's how you can learn, So
That's so true. So, what are some of the things that you would tell other up and coming artists? What are some things to avoid? What are some things to do? Lessons learned.
don't rush things.
Don't rush things. Patience.
Yeah, patience. Like I know, like you want to release your track, but whatever you release is what's gonna affect your future. So make sure everything sounds great. Don't rush on making decisions of who you're gonna sign, or who are you gonna future with. Also, try to promote yourself. Take the initiative. Self-doubt is the worst poison you can do, and
That's a big one for sure. Lots of people, they have dreams, they have things that they want to accomplish, but they have that self doubt for sure. Those voices that say, don't do it. No,
Yeah.
it's fine. Just stay in the comfortable lane. Don't go out there and put yourself out there.
yeah, and especially like, like I heard like a speech one time coming from Gary V. He says like something about that he goes to a nursing home and he had conversations. Man, everybody starts their conversation. I wish I would. So
I wish I would.
that's the thing I don't want to say when I'm like old. I wish I would.
I wish I would have done that. I wish I
So-
would have done this.
Yeah, so with taking this initiative, like Riggy B, just don't doubt yourself. If you want to do it, hey, the first tracks are gonna suck, but always, like, no matter what, like, it's not gonna be your best work, but that's how you learn, you know.
Exactly. Talking about this right now, this is, like you said, your first interview. This is my first episode on the podcast. For sure, I'm gonna see you grow, and then we're gonna do another one for sure, and we're gonna look at it and we're gonna be like, man, look at us now, and look how we were for sure on that. So, just growing overall, you just gotta get out there and actually do it, and you'll just learn from it.
Yeah, and like, don't be shy. Shit, like, when I even throw myself out there with a different artist, like I'll link them up, send them a message, hey, let's connect, let's do something. If I like the sound, fuck, I can see you on one of my tracks. Don't be shy, because like that's another poison in the industry. Like, if you don't speak up, you're never gonna be recognized, or you're never gonna be known. So if you have like social media, it's easy to connect with anybody. So that's gonna be a quiet journey for me right now, to meet up with these new artists, and it's gonna be different sounds. But yeah, for other coming up in artists, especially when they say they don't have time.
There's time.
There's time, bro. Like, I have a shitty schedule, 10 to 7. Man, from 7:30 till 2 a.m. doing it, just do it. Like, there's no excuses. Yeah, sometimes you have to pause, but that's so you can reflect something on yourself. But just keep doing it. Like, there's time. There's always time. You just work 8 hours out of the 24 hours that you have. Just,
if you're really focused on it, if you really want to, put this out there like that, for sure there's time. There's time. Another question: what is the legacy that you want to leave in the game after, like, say you retire with rapping, or like say you stop doing music? What is the legacy you want to really leave on the game? Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah, a few times I've thought about that. The legacy is just, I want to bring something new. Like, I want to create a different sound for trap and rap. I mean, it's just, with Border Flow, it's already the initiative, but Kid Kale was already doing it. But I want to be leaving like the game, like, hey, this is Dallas coming art, like, who grew in Dallas, and he came from the border. Border Flow came out, Spanish and English from two different worlds. That's pretty much the legacy I want to live as my name. Retiring, I haven't seen the big picture of it as the legacy. That's a good question.
Yeah, got you thinking.
Yeah, it got me thinking.
For sure.
But yeah, like right now, I'm taking step by step. But for my legacy, I want to be a big artist, retiring from English and Spanish. But again, most of my tracks are going to be in Spanish, but there's going to be English bars still in there.
So, we were talking about how there's a lot of up-and-coming artists here in Dallas, Texas. What really separates you from those artists? What is something you could say, this is what I'm bringing?
I don't see too many artists doing what I'm doing, like English and Spanish. Again, they always bring like their own like the English language or the Spanish. They just stay
but
with never the combination like of what both can do, because it takes two artists most of the time to do English and Spanish, but nobody takes a risk of, hey, I'm gonna do it both languages. Let me just do it, and it sounds good, like,
yeah.
The only thing that sucks about doing it in both languages is when you're rapping in Spanish and then you switch it up to English, your accent comes stronger, and then when you go back into Spanish, English accent comes out. So, but other than that, like, I feel like that's, especially in the United States, that shows a little bit of diversity about an artist. Hey, I'm gonna do it in English and Spanish, and it's gonna be
for sure. Whenever you make your music, do you write down your stuff, or are you just off the top, just go in the booth and I'm gonna knock this out? Or what's the process for you?
The process is, first I freestyle like for half an hour just to see how I get with the beat, and then after that I start writing. Sometimes it requires a lot of freestyling as well, because when I write the bars, mm-hmm. and I get up on the mic, it's not gonna be exactly what you wrote. You're gonna switch a little bit how you said the sentence. You're gonna switch a little bit the words to sound a little so you can land the beat better. It's just you write the idea of what you're gonna rap and you write your bars down, but it's not gonna be exactly what you wrote down. You know.
Got you.
So
Perfect.
it takes a lot of freestyle throughout the process.
Freestyling. That's a
Yeah.
big thing for you.
Yeah. Also, like when again when I went to see Dave Wander, I just freestyle my set like my session. I wasn't expected to be on the track. Like they were like, see what you can do, and I just got on the booth and whatever I wrote, I just put it in my pocket, and I was just like, I'm just gonna freestyle. It's gonna sound good, and just did it. And then we got into the mic. We went to. I got out of the booth, and then we just listening, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna add some ad libs on that.
Okay.
And then I did it, and I was like, damn, this sounds dope. Like,
This is something
Yeah.
good.
so sometimes freestyle comes in clutch, but if you want to throw a message in the story, and it's better to write it.
Okay, perfect. Where does Riggy B see himself in 5 years?
Touring. I want to go to Argentina. I want to go to Chile. I want to go to Spain. I want to go to Dominican Republic. I want to go to Europe as well.
So Europe is a big one.
Yeah.
Okay. So touring for sure. It's something you see yourself doing.
In 5 years, yeah. 5 years touring. I always wanted to be myself I wanted to be always on the road, just traveling, especially like when you're meeting other artists from around the world. That's what I want to see. I want to see myself performing Madison Square Garden, or just going the big leagues.
Yeah, for sure. So, there's some artists that they start their own labels. There's some artists that they remain artists. What route do you see? Do you ever see yourself starting a label and maybe taking on fellow artists and showing them the ropes and stuff like that, or are you just gonna stay focused on your craft and I'm gonna be the artist only and that's the thing I'm gonna focus on?
No. Yes. I right now the route is being myself, like the artist.
Yeah.
I've been speaking with MIK, and he already has something going, and I see the vision. So me and him, we got together and we talk about, hey, let's do our own label in the future. So La Bata's worldwide.
La Batas?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
because MIK is Nigerian.
Okay.
So but yeah, it's something that we both have similar interest on, and when we spoke about it, we were like, all right, we can be possibly partners on this project that we want to create.
Okay. So potentially a partnership within that. Okay, man. That's good. And then just to finish it off, anything you want to tell the people out there? Where can they find you on social media? Like you said, on the 31st, you're releasing a track. What are some of the things you want to share with these people?
Moon Rocks is coming out on the 31st. Loyalty at end of February as well. By summer, I want to start promoting Border Flow Volume 2. You can find me on social media, only on Instagram, b.riggy. I always keep up with my stories so you guys can know where I'm at with every project. I like to show where we at so you guys can see the expected coming up.
And we'll link that in the YouTube video. b.riggy on Instagram, for
Correct.
sure.
And for again another advice for upcoming artists. Oh damn! I just forgot what I was gonna say.
It be like that sometimes, man.
Be like that. Don't hesitate at all. Just do it. Your first track is gonna suck. You can work night shifts on your craft. Don't take constructive criticism as a bad thing.
That's true.
That's what made me grow. Like when I released the first tracks, I got bashed on and but like it's okay. It just gets better from there. Careful who you do features with as well. You always gotta do your research of who and when you're doing something with something else. Um, just take the leap of faith.
Okay,
Take the
for
leap
sure.
of faith.
That's good advice, for sure. Especially up and coming artists, like you said, hesitation and criticism or something that they fear is something that they don't want to experience. Music is a art.
Yeah.
It's an art. So that's, you love the art that you make, but you don't want people to criticize it. So that's what really stops a lot of them from releasing music.
And one of our, like, who said this? I want to believe Sipo. He's a freestyler from Mexico as well. He's from the old school era, but he said, I'm gonna say in Spanish, la gente que te critica nunca está dando tus pasos. So like, people who just criticize you, they're not taking the same footsteps that you're taking. So just don't let that poison you at all.
It's easy to criticize other people whenever you're not the one out there like that, for
Yeah,
sure.
correct.
No,
So-
that's a great line from what was it?
Sipo?
Sipo.
Yeah, I follow up with a lot of freestylers back in Mexico and Argentina, but yeah, so that's my biggest advice for them. And with Riggy B, you're gonna see the whole process from
Day
having-
one.
day one to where I'm at in the present. So
That's good, man. Best of luck to you. Wish you the best with your music, your tours, your projects. I really do appreciate you coming here, and taking the time to do this interview. But yeah, you guys could find us at Welcome to the Rodeo on YouTube. Welcome to the Rodeo podcast. We're also on Instagram, so we'll link that as well. But really do appreciate it for you guys listening here, listening to Riggy B, and for Riggy B taking that time to be with us here.
thank you for having me, man. It was a pleasure.
You already know, man. Hey, we got to do this again, though. I know you're gonna be big. I see it. You're gonna be a big artist, and we gotta really, do this again for sure.
Yeah, definitely, man. You already know where to contact me. I'll be around.
Perfect, man. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Have a good one, guys.
Have a good one.